Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. My name is Roy, aka Bloody Bananas, and in this video we're going to cover 3 tips, in my opinion, that will help you guys through all of your interviews. I know that sounds really crazy. How can you give interview tips for every kind of interview? But in my opinion, these 3 tips will help you through any kind of interviews that you'll go through, whether it be technical or behavioral or just very general interviews that you'll receive. And these tips actually came from my friends when I was looking for a job when I was a student way back then, and my friends weren't even in the same field as I was, but it helped me tremendously. So I would love to share with you guys so that hopefully I can help you guys prepare better for your upcoming interviews in the future. Without further ado, let's get started with the interviews. Like I mentioned here, these are the best tips to ace the general interviews. So the first part that I want to discuss is the introduction. We all know that for almost every single interview, 99.9% of the interview, that you're going to begin with an introduction with yourself, right? You're going to talk about your education background, your past work experience, your job responsibilities, your skills, and the things that you're specialized in. This is the first time the interviewer will get to know you. And this is very important because it keeps this mental image of yourself in their mind when you're telling your introduction. When you're telling this introduction, you're basically telling your story to this person, right? And when you're telling a story to an audience, you want the audience to engage with the story. You want to pull the audience into your story. In order to do that, you have to keep the story fluent. You have to convey information. You want to tell information that the audience is interested in. In this case, your work experience and your skills and everything about you that would make you a good fit for this job. And my best advice to work on introduction is to write it down and practice. By writing it down and practice, I mean literally write it down and practice. What you want to do is start with a pen or pencil, with the sheet of paper, or you can type on the Word document, or you can use iPad or iPhone or whatever. But you want to write it down. And what you can do is you can just start with very simple template such as this one. My name is Roy. My education background began with math at this school, and then I was accepted into this other school for master's degree in statistics. And that tells everything, right? But you want to keep this fluent and concise. You're telling yourself. You're giving all this information about yourself. So next up, you can follow up with, right out of college, I got a full-time job at this company, and my responsibilities involved doing this. I worked on this project where I used this tool, where I applied the skill, where I got this result. So you can mention all of these things, right? Or if you didn't have a job, right, you're just applying right before graduation, so you never had a full-time job, you could say, while I was in school, I had an internship, I had a research project, I had a class project where I did a project on this problem, and I used blah blah skills to solve this issue. I got this result, and these are all the things that I did. Again, this is your story. I'm not going to try to tell you guys how to write your own story, right? Because it's your life, it's your experience. You know it better than I am. So you want to write it however you like. You think whatever is the best way to tell your story, that's how you want to write down your introduction. And once you write down the introduction, what I want you guys to do is literally read it out loud. Pretending as if you're on the phone speaking with an interviewer or recruiter, you just read out exactly what is on your screen. You want to read it out so many times that it's ingrained in your brain, so that you don't need to look into this to remember all the details that you wrote down. And I promise you guys, this will really help, Because for every interview that I've had so far, it starts with an introduction about myself. And once you master this part, then you're giving them a really good mental image of yourself. So this is very, very important. And if you guys did not do this before, I would definitely recommend this tip to you guys. And with that, let's start with the next, is that you want to show your confidence. Because when you are speaking with confidence, you are really demonstrating that you know the skills, you really have the skills, and you have the confidence to do your job well. There are a couple ways that you can do this. You can work on your posture. Personally, I don't think I have great posture, but I don't have terrible posture. You don't want to just do like this or lying down, right? You want to keep a positive image of yourself. So you want to have a decent posture. You want to look straight ahead. And this is where the eye contact comes in. You want to keep the eye contact with the interviewer. You don't want to wandering around with your eyes, because it really shows a lack of confidence, right? When you're looking way over there, trying to remember something about your projects or your experience, it shows that you don't really know what was going on. So I know this is not exactly easy to do, but just keep this in mind. When you're speaking, you want to try to maintain this eye contact as much as you can. And the next tip is that you want to stop using stop words. You want to avoid them. Obviously, you can't stop them very easily. I myself included, as you guys can see from my videos, I probably use stop words 10,000 times already in all of my videos. And that's probably an underestimation. But it's not easy to do. And I know that as well. But you want to keep that in mind and avoid using them as much as possible. Because again, when you use stop words, when you're speaking with like, and then you stumble on things and you say, and that shows a lack of confidence. Again, it shows that you might not know what you did. And again, that brings the mental image of yourself in their mind a little bit more negatively. And also you want to talk slowly, because when you talk slowly, you're also thinking. And when you think, you know what you want to say next. So that your words coming out of your mouth will be more confident. It will be more exactly what you want to say. And when you're talking slowly, you can really convey that information that you're trying to convey. And the last tip that I want to give you guys that is also very important is that you want to start using downtone. And if you guys don't know what downtone is, it basically means that when you're speaking, your tone of voice is going from high to low. For example, if you use uptone when you're speaking, say the weather is really hot today, it doesn't sound very confident, right? It sounds like you're questioning yourself. That's why you want to use your downtone when you're speaking to the interviewer. You want to say, the weather is really hot today. And that shows you know the weather is hot. You're not asking the interviewer if the weather is hot. Because if you're asking a question, you would ask, how is the weather? Is the weather really hot for you? Or is the weather really hot for you? You could actually even use downtone for questions. I didn't really consider that before. But you want to use downtone as much as you can, because it really shows the confidence and you know exactly what you're doing. The very last tip that I want to give you guys is PMA, positive mental attitude. It's very important to keep this in your mind as well. You don't want to panic even if the interviewer is asking you something that you have never heard about and you have no solution to. And that's completely fine. What you really want to do is keep the conversation going. And you say, oh, the interviewer isn't even interested in talking to me. And that's, again, it's fine. Just think of it as a monologue in that case. You're speaking to the interviewer. You're trying to present your skills to the interviewer. You're showing them why you're a good fit for this role. So you're trying to not panic, because when you panic, you make mistakes. And the next part is you want to be relaxed. I know this one is difficult, right? When you're having an interview with your dream job, But keep in mind that even though it's your dream job, it probably won't have that much an effect on your life overall if you get it or not. Obviously, you could get a huge salary hike, but you could also do that via other companies, right? And keep in mind that, and you could apply in a year later or have a year later, depending on the company that you apply for. So always keep in mind that it's not the end of the world if you fail an interview. You want to relax, and you want to smile a lot, because when you smile, it shows the interviewer that you're a friendly person, and people will more likely to have a conversation with you. And that might be something that they're looking for subconsciously. They might not even know that they prefer people who smile a lot, right? Because that's not something that you really think about. Oh, this person smiles a lot, I really like him. But when this person smiles a lot, you might think, I would love to talk to him more, right? But that's a subconscious thing. So I would say that this is another thing that you could keep in mind. Just try to smile a lot and be friendly with the interviewer. And lastly, always remember that failure is okay. I've probably failed thousands of times already. I'm a master at failure at almost every single thing that I've done. And that's totally fine, because when you start learning something, when you start doing something for the first time, you're most likely to fail. If you're failing your first couple of interviews, that's fine. Even when I already had a full-time job and when I started looking for new opportunities, so I hadn't had interviews for quite a while, I would stumble on my words. I would stumble on a lot of questions that were thrown at me for the first couple of interviews, and I failed all of them, and that's completely fine, because this is part of life. As you fail more, you're going to grow more, and always remember that it's fine. So you want to think positively. And that pretty much concludes the video. I hope this video helped you guys to get to prepare your interviews a little bit better. I think these were really great tips that helped me getting a job when I was job seeking, and it still helps me if I'm looking for a new job currently. So if you guys find these tips helpful, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more. Leave a comment below on what you guys would like to see next, and if you agree with the tips that I give. I will see you guys in my next video.